What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today I'm giving you an early look at Formula Fusion, a new anti-gravity racing game from Rate Games, that is R8 Games, and I'll leave a link to their various media channels and so on in the description below so you can take a look at what they're doing. But here you'll see an overview of the map that we'll be racing in, and I believe that this stage is Manhattan. Now, you won't be able to see the surroundings in this much detail later on because you'll be racing entirely too fast. This particular race has the slowest vehicle that they offer, which I believe hits an average speed of about 380 miles per hour. So it's fast. Let's jump into that, and I'll go over some of the finer details of the racing just so you guys understand what we're getting into. So here we have a race start, and I'm going to start critiquing from here because there's a couple of things that I would like to see improved already. First, the audible sound on the start is lower than the sound of the music. That is always a problem because you can barely hear the sound that lets you know you should be moving over the sound of the music itself. And that means that it's going to need some volume adjustment, and I did not adjust the volume in the game. That's how it comes out of the box. So if you guys could turn that up a bit, that would be great. In addition to that, the sound effects for collisions all sound the same for both walls and the other cars. You might want to make those sound a little bit different just so that they register different for players. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but just knowing what you're hitting off of the sound alone will help players understand like what they need to do to kind of maneuver their cars or vehicles or whatever you like to call the craft, racers. And it may not seem like much now, but that I feel like personally that's kind of important. The way that the races actually work are pretty much standard. Like you have the map, you have the circuits to go through. There's boost pads on the circuits that increase your top speed temporarily, and then there's pickups that are scattered around the map. Now the pickups need a bit of explanation because the tutorial currently only explains one of them. Red pickups are for weapons, and weapons are able to be selected for each vehicle. There's 4 weapons currently in the game. There's the energy shot, which is basically like a giant beam of death that does a large amount of damage to any craft's shields, but it moves a little bit slower. I would like to see the speed on that picked up slightly, but not a lot, maybe somewhere between 15 and 25%. That would make it easier to hit people as they're going around corners, rather than just only being viable on a straightaway and just having people basically not zigzag, because that makes it really easy to dodge, and it's high risk and high reward. But I feel like the speed kind of nerfs it a bit too much. Then there's the Gauss Cannon, which is like a machine gun. It fires a bunch of little pellets, and that weapon pretty much seems on point. So do the mines. The mines are like this little cluster of bombs that you set out behind you. I believe it's about 3 at a time, or you get 3 per pickup. You can set them out individually or all at once, but they are usually extremely well designed just due to the fact that they deny people a certain area of the circuit to go through, and I think those are fine. Now you just saw me use the shockwave here, and the shockwave I feel has extremely low range. You should be able to hit anything that's on you, but to make sure that it's effective, you probably want to be able to hit something that's relatively close to you so that if you're gaining on an enemy, you kind of can slow them down a bit. Though, due to the fact that it has super short range, I was rarely able to actually test it out on anything to see what effects it has on them. So it could be like a really good weapon if somebody touches you, or it could be extremely lackluster, but I'm kind of thinking it's not that great right now. Then from there, we're probably going to go and take a look at the garage. Just so you're aware, I win this, I place first. It was the first time that I placed first in a race, and I think this was about my 5th or 6th race in the game. So here we'll have the garage, and it's your landing page for basically everything in the game. It's where you'll start, you'll be able to see your money, and you can check out your car. Now when you click garage within this menu, it actually takes you to your upgrades. This is the team select menu, and here you'll be able to basically skin your vehicle. Your pilot's lore will be listed up there, and I've seen a bit of art posted up about the actual pilots for the vehicles, but it doesn't seem to be something that you see in the game at this stage. But I'm eagerly awaiting that because the art looks awesome. When you actually look at the upgrades themselves, you'll highlight it as it's sort of in the center of the screen, and then you'll be able to upgrade it after you left click. One of the things that I would like improved for this particular screen here is there's no information about the overall stats of your vehicles. If there was some way that they could quantize it and display it so that players kind of had an idea of how fast they would be going or how well the craft handles, that would be great. Especially since with the 3 different crafts, the only way that you know they're different is the look. The fact that they even perform differently was not something that is communicated through the game itself, and that's something that should definitely be there. So other than this little number that's in the upper right hand corner and the name of the particular vehicle models, there's nothing that actually tells you that they handle differently. I was unaware at first whether or not they were just different vehicle like skins, but after playing with some of them I found out that they handled very differently, and the money that you spend for upgrades on them also is not shared. So if you upgrade the handling on one particular class of vehicle, that money does not carry over to the handling on others, and so you'll have to accumulate additional funds if you want to tweak multiple classes of vehicles, which is completely fine. Like that's a legitimate way to add longevity to the game, especially since not everybody will enjoy playing in every vehicle class, so that's great. Alright, and here we have the tutorial, and this is the last thing that I'm going to mention because I want to make sure a couple of things aren't missed here. The basic setup for the game is WASD and the arrow keys, so you do not use the mouse at all. That took me a minute to figure out because the only way I saw that the arrow keys were in use was by going to the landing page, checking out the options, and going to the keyboard config. So that's something that should definitely be mentioned in the options. In addition to that, there are a couple of features like being able to pitch your vehicle up or down, which changes how you behave when you go up or down ramps, and that's something that probably should be elaborated on a bit, just so that players are aware that that's something that could affect the way that they play the game. I'm not even sure if it does, but you know, if it's put into the game, I'm pretty sure it's intended to be meaningful in some way. I just don't know how yet. So that's pretty much been Formula Fusion. I actually really enjoyed this, and I'm gonna play it some more. I'm looking forward to the updates, and I'm following the developers. And hey, if you guys sat through this video, you should probably take a look at them too, just to see what they're putting out there. Other than that, as always, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one.